Hey, my man, Curtis and Trans. Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
We're doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Yep, we're doing
Beautiful.
awesome.
That's a great one. I love that. I love that. And thank you so very much for being here. And you see, oftentimes, Curtis and Trans, I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So, firstly, I want to say to you both, thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Curtis and Trans, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, I tell you guys, ripe mangoes. It was such a wonderful moment that day. I was so excited. Here's my point.
Amazing.
I tell you, man, the fact that you guys dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing individual that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, how you are offering your solutions, your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having. These stuffs are amazing. And just before you got the request from me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things these amazing people are doing. And here we are today with the amazing Curtis and Trans. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much.
No, thank you,
Thank
brother,
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Thank you. No, that was
That was
wonderful. That
beautiful.
was
That was
that was
beautiful.
one of the nicest things. That was like one of the
Yes,
nicest
sir. That was so
introductions I think we've
awesome.
ever had.
Thank you, man. Thank you
That's
so much.
awesome.
So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have the both of you on the show today for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see,
Mm.
this means ignorance. I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Curtis and Trance on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are just so curious. We want to know how this amazing man got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, my man, over to you.
Awesome. Uh, I can 100% kick it off. First off, I feel so blessed to be here. And man, what you're doing is so great. I got the time to kind of skim through a couple of the podcasts that you've done before, and it's very insightful. And the fact that you let people speak their range of their truth and what they're going through and spreading their knowledge to make a collective with knowledge that grows people. It's a very beautiful thing. Today, we kind of wanted to kind of like share our story of creating something in this world. It's kind of like we like to think of the perspective of us being like lost in the wilderness as a world. We're kind of like lost in the wilderness. We're bumping our heads, and it's been longer than 40 years. And what RTR wants to do is lead us out of that place. Get us from where we are stuck, because well, that's kind of like the name of the group. It's Roundtable Rejects, and we feel that the world is kind of stuck in this wilderness, and we take it on as our purpose to bring us out of that wilderness. Me personally, I've been through a couple of different things. God has called me. My father of my soul has called me to be led out from amongst the crowd, to implement certain actions into being, like and guys, I kind of started off from little different and yet relatable circumstances. Like my dad wasn't in the house, and my dad was in the house. He was more in jail than he was in the free world, so I didn't really know him much growing up. I didn't have that male role model. But my mom always kept me in the church, so I was always guided by God to be in the right thing. But for the people that are in the church and that do go to church, the church is its own version of the wilderness, because they kind of, at least in my perspective, they can put uh, Jesus, or they could put God in a sort of a box, instead of coming to know the whole fullness of all that our Father has to offer. And saying that, I'll let Trent kind of dive into his personal growth, his personal journey, and where he's at with us getting out of this wilderness and his own personal wilderness.
Take that from.
For sure. Were you gonna say something, Elijah? I didn't know if you were gonna say something real quick. Okay. So yeah, my journey was a little bit different than that. I didn't have a life of spirituality in the beginning of my life. I didn't think for myself. I didn't even question my reality. I was in reality. I existed. That's all I knew was what reality told me, or what I thought was reality. Then I started having really bad nightmares. And these nightmares it would take me to a place that was very uncomfortable, very scary, very unnatural. And in this time, I was started reading books of different spiritualities, of mythologies. Back in the day, it used to be Greek mythology was one of my favorites as a child. But I ended up going. My parents bought me this action book Bible, and it was a comic book Bible. It was either that or my aunt, but it was a comic, like it had pictures of the Bible. And me as a little kid, I liked pictures, so I ate up those pictures. And I didn't understand the story. I didn't understand the meaning behind any of it, but my soul was just encapsulated with what the images were showing me. And like I didn't take it as myth. I took it as like this was our history to get to this point. This was different. And it made me fall in love with history. Fast forward a little bit, somebody gives me my first Bible, and this is at a time where I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my life. And so I go to church. And the church they were very nice to me. They were they showed me I would say the church was the early wisdom for me to have the early foundations of my spiritual journey. And then after that, I got saved multiple times because I didn't think my soul was worthy enough to be saved. That was a difficult part for me. I was like, man, I'm too imperfect. How could something as perfect as the creator of the universe accept me for my flaws? And that doubt from the negative underworld, I think, was something that had to do with that. It's like, you're not worthy enough. You're not worthy enough. You're not worthy enough. And I had to learn to have that grace and that faith and that understanding to say, I am not worthy enough. But if I give my burdens unto the All High, the Most High, that He will be there He will be my comfort. He will be my shield. He will be my sword if I use His words properly. So yeah, and from there, I recognized that the world was in the wilderness. People were interested in materialistic things. People were getting addicted to things. People were getting addicted to flesh. People now make a business off of selling their own flesh. And we've gotten to a Sodom and Gomorrah place. And so that's the wilderness right now, is just a lot of negativity that we have convinced ourselves is worth worshiping, worth giving praise, as opposed to fighting for those underdogs. Jesus, for instance, was the greatest underdog. But yeah.
Uh, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow,
Kurt, you
man.
want to go ahead?
All right, sure. So in our group, we kind of had, at least in the start, we kind of had a lot of people come and go. It was like people would come in. Well, we started in college, and like God kind of showed himself, revealed himself to all of us, that we had a divine purpose and that we needed to start spreading good on this planet. And then we kind of separated, went our own different directions, and then uh God kind of like ended up kind of calling us back together. And when we were all together, it was on fire. We were ready to go. And one of the guys in our group, he actually came up with the name. He's not necessarily as much involved now. He is in the military. I pray to God for his protection, that he's doing good and that he's safe. Uh, but yeah, he'll probably be back involved later on. But that's kind of for only God could tell, honestly. But yeah, he kind of brought up the name. We were all just kind of spitballing. With Roundtable was thrown in there, and we kind of like Roundtable, Knights of the Roundtable, different things circulating. A collective, a group of guys, a group of women, a group of people that are all united, in a wholesome form, taking that. And then but we couldn't just run with that. We couldn't just run with the collective part of it, because we stand for the people that didn't have the golden path to do as they will to be in the kingdom,
The way of the
because
Pharisees.
we gotta look past who we are now and look to who we want to be in the kingdom of God. So like, when you look past that, it's like we got to take the people that didn't have that chance, like the Moseses, the people born in Nazareth, the people that were looked over, the people that were rejected by society. You don't fit here, you don't fit there, but you fit
You're a
at the round
criminal. You
table.
just sell fish. You're not important. These were the same people that Jesus said you will be the most powerful people for the ministry. So, and walk with the steps of Jesus. And so, if Jesus chose maybe not the most popular people, but the quote unquote rejected at his time in society, if we're trying to follow that path and that holy path, then we shouldn't be seeking the rich businessman. We should be seeking somebody who's simple, who's humble, and we try to uplift ourselves to greater becomings.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good
holistic
question.
holistic spirituality. Well, to me, holistic spirituality would first be identifying uh who you are necessarily. It would kind of be like, because you can really partake in any form of spirituality unless you believe in the spirit itself. you know? And then it's like people define spirit as so many different things. And to me, I define spirit as uh life force energy, whatever is the thing stemming from behind creating life, growth, you know. And when you have a spectrum as high as growth and moving forward, you have an it also creates a spectrum as moving backwards, you know. And then it's finding the balance between those, because now I know what growth looks like, and now I also know what stagnance looks like, and now I also know what depletion looks like, going backwards looks like, you know. And then now it's, where do I fit in, where am I at in all of this, and where do I want to go to in all of this. And how I find that sense is, I was created. That's kind of where my spirituality starts, because a lot of people don't even believe that they were created. They believe that they evolved and things just happened and we're here out of severely happenstance instead of the works of creation. And once you realize, oh, I was created. Now who is my father? Who created me? You know, and how could I become more like the being that my father created me as? You know, and that entails with purpose. That is purpose right there. When you accept the calling of, I am created, I have a father now, and now how do I want to live my life knowing that I have a father? And you could kind of look into your own life. If I had a child, and I would I'm going to be the one looking after my child. So if my child listens to the word that I give him to keep him safe, to keep him nurtured, you know, that would be the optimal life for that child. And if I listen to my father, what he says to keep me nurtured, to keep me fed, to keep me moving forward, I feel that would be the optimal life for me. That's kind of my view of holistic spirituality.
So yeah, right now we're focused on bringing out more music. We're focused on, coming out and talking to people, being active in the community, sharing ideas, perspectives. Our goal is to, we're the Roundtable Rejects, so it's a round table. We want everyone from different walks of life to come together to want to sit at this table. Of course, it's free will. If no one wants to sit at the other sides of the table, but then we have maybe not the whole perspective of what we're trying to do for the world. But if everyone chooses to sit at the table, everyone is putting in their opinions, and it's not just like putting in opinions just to stir the pot or be dramatic, but what people genuinely think is best for society, and we push for what's best for society. We find the middle. We find. I always thought that because it said God made us in its image, you know, and so I'm like, we are each pieces of it. Like you talked about the grain of sand, right? Now, sand heated up makes glass. So think about a mirror. Think about a mirror that which is made out of glass particles heated up. So we have a mirror, and that image is God. That's the full image. Now imagine the image gets completely shattered into back to its sand level particles and then scattered across the universe, or Earth for that matter, even on a more basic. That is us, I believe. If we were made in the image, we are the shadow of the creator. We can be, we can do great things because of the creator. But if we can't come together, if we can't sit at that table, if we can't love our neighbors, if we can't do these things for each other, if we can't even sit and have a conversation, then where do we start? And that's
And
kind of what we're focused on.
sorry about that. Sorry to cut you off, but to expand off of that, Christ himself said that we would do greater works than him. You know, and someone to be so almighty and but to humble himself to boost up his creation and say they're going to do even greater than I did, and he saved the universe. So, may I?
Go ahead.
All right. So, what I'd leave you off with is, for you guys that are sad, for you guys that are brokenhearted, for you guys feeling like left out, you don't fit in. There are people working behind the scenes every single day to make sure that you feel loved, and you eventually will live in the perfect world that you seek. You know, heaven on earth is coming, It might not be now, but it's working. It's in the process with every decision, every step, every breath, guys. It is coming, and you're a part of it. And that's the beauty of it. Is every time you, instead of choosing yourself, you choose love, you are making yourself a part of the story. You are engulfing yourself in the narrative. And how you find us, how you get involved, how you get attached. We're Roundtable Rejects 111 on Instagram. That's our main page. Roundtable Rejects is the music. And guys, thank you for sticking to it. Thank you for listening to us, and we wish nothing but the absolute best for you guys. Never settle. We are rising, and we are becoming more and more great. Let's say that, great. Amen.
Thank you so much.